Hey everybody, this is Anthony and you're listening to the MetsXMFanZone Podcast, the show that breaks down everything Mets, major news, Mets blockbuster trades, and more. If you love this episode, please give it a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe. You can now watch our shows live every week, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, right here at the 6 p.m. hour, live on all major platforms. You can also check my website out at MetsXMFanZone.com for your latest everything Mets. Now let's have a word from our sponsor. I want to thank SB Sports Athletics for being big supporters of the channel, which supported our channel from day one. SB Sports Athletics apparel company provides Mets apparel to fans throughout the season. Their apparel is fast, reliable, and also with excellent 24/7 service. If you would like to purchase SB Sports Athletics apparel, you can go to my website at MetsXMFanZone.com/SB Sports Athletics and get your gear today. Now let's get on with the show. Now we got major news and developments from our fans today, and we are starting this off with Jacob Degrom explains why he left the New York Mets. Now, Jacob Degrom had a season where in the offseason he had a pretty good season overall in 2022 with the New York Mets, despite on his injuries. But him coming back to the New York Mets was a big headliner for the New York Mets in the offseason. He did bolted, and he ended up going to the Texas Rangers in free agency. And he signed a lucrative big 5-year, $186 million, which the Mets didn't do a counter offer after losing the ace, which he was a Cy Young Award winner for many years, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, but the Mets ended up going to an alternative route with Justin Verlander and signed him to a 2-year at $86 million. Although the parties were very one-sided from what we are hearing, the New York Mets did want Jacob Degrom to come back to the team, but he ended up making a big controversy going forward. Not only with the Mets, but also in the media, and it really did stir a lot of outrage with the media because of his. We thought he would be really loyal to the New York Mets, which proved that money does speak in Major League Baseball, and all parties seem to move on here. However, Buck Showalter really did express quite a few words on him and really threw a lot of digs in the offseason into why he should have re-signed with the New York Mets, and really did nub this whole situation, I feel. And with that being said, was it losing Jacob Degrom a big alternative for the Mets? Was it a whole retrospect? Was it in not inviting him back to the Mets, or was there a chance that he could have stayed? And I feel that everybody would have liked to have Jacob Degrom be here, and which he had a chance to stay here, and he ended up signing somewhere else because we all know that Jacob Degrom is, again, one of the best pitchers in baseball and really did slip through the cracks by going and signing somewhere else. I don't think it had to do with the tax thing. I don't believe that because, listen, you guys, they're making a lot of money, and if you're really putting in a situation where you're saying that it has to do about taxes and you ended up leaving, I'm going to call bullshit on that. And I'm going to say that Jacob Degrom left because he wanted to either go home or just wanted out of New York completely. I'm actually going by to what Jacob Degrom was even going to say here, was that it was the fact of the matter that he was talking with players and that he knew that he just didn't like to be here anymore because of the controversy of fans and controversy of the media. And he really wanted to just lay low with the media. And which he ends up saying, Buck Showalter's, that Degrom could have stayed and he could have very well been in the system. And which I'm going to go and read to you exactly what Buck Showalter had to say about Jacob Degrom not staying with the New York Mets. And he goes, I'll take his word on this, but I think it's pretty simple that the Rangers made him an offer that was light years ahead of everybody else. Plus, there's no state income tax, which I did mention in that, in Texas. He was looking for a place to spread out. He got it. Jacob Degrom will be happy there, and he'll pitch well. He was great to have around. He was always good with me. But the thing is, Jake is from Central Florida, which we don't understand that. He just wanted to be left alone to pitch. Well, we'll miss him, he said, but I can't dwell on it as at this point in time. So, I mean, Buck Showalter's had pretty decent, that statement was really a pivotal point with the manager, which I see that in the end that the Rangers didn't make Jacob Degrom an offer that he really couldn't refuse. It was also an offer that the Mets are unwilling to match. The Mets could have very well matched his offer. I just think that, your time is spent here. Okay, granted. I think we could have went and actually got somebody else, in which the Mets did and ended up getting Justin Verlander for 2 years at $86 million. I think it was 2 or 4 at $86 million. So it remains to be seen that Buck Showalter and Jacob Degrom could have had their controversies here. I don't think that Degrom was mean-spirited about it. I just think that Degrom really just wanted to go his own separate way. So with that being said, could the Mets prevented this? I don't think the Mets could have prevented it. I just think that overall it was his time, and the Mets wanted to move into a completely different direction. And I feel too that with his injuries and his babiness, and with him saying that he was fatigued and him saying that he wasn't feeling right, I think the Mets really got annoyed with that also. Listen, we've been taking care of you for all these years. We've been giving you your money. We took care of you, and enough's enough. And that's kind of how I kind of see it. Well, there were so many other people that could have taken this into a different perspective. Mets were not wrong on this. Jacob Degrom is no longer a New York Met, and we're no longer going to be talking about him here, especially on my channel, MetsXMFanZone. We are happy for him that he went to the Texas Rangers. He now has a little bit of a better opportunity. Not really, but he has a better opportunity with them. The Rangers had 68 wins. Let's call it what it is. You went where the money was. The Mets weren't going to give that to you. Well, I think the Mets were going to give him a lot more. I just don't think that the Mets wanted to keep him here because of the injuries. They wanted a win now philosophy. Steve Cohen has expressed that in many meetings. What are the Mets going to do here? There was nothing they could have done to prevent him from not being here. So, in addition, I feel that the Mets made the right call. They got Justin Verlander. We got Cody Sengon, which is going to be very good for the Mets going forward. Mets got a lot of new additions. Even the Mets locked in a lot of players. They're going to lock in Pete Alonso, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. The Mets have locked in Jeff McNeil now to a 4-year, 5th-year option, $50 million. The Mets got a really good catcher in the wings with Francisco Alvarez. The Mets got a good hitter in Brett Beatty, which he can be very well good. The Mets got good pitching next to the Japanese pitcher. The Mets bring in quite a few good arms. Mets re-sign Edwin Diaz. So we can't say that we're going to miss him. Granted, I think Met fans are going to miss him, and the Met fans are probably going to chant for him when we do get to see him, which we will be seeing him this season. The Mets are good at where they are right now. Will there be moves that the Mets are going to make at the trade deadline? Possibly. Could they go and get Ohtani in 24? Possibly. I think the Mets are going to get Ohtani at the trade deadline. If you don't see Darren Ruff or Daniel Vogelbach, I think those guys don't come out of the gate swinging. They're trade bait. I think they're gone. Either they're gone or they're going to bring up the kids and bring them down. Which I think Brett Beatty has a shot to end up being here. So, Jacob Degrom is gone. He's history, and we don't need to talk about him anymore. Which comes again. If we really want to tear this story apart, who did who dirty here? Really, let's be honest. Who really did who dirty? Jacob Degrom. And you didn't have to go out the way you did, where you weren't going to make a statement at first, and then all of a sudden the media really went after you. We need a statement, and then all of a sudden you go and make a statement. That's not the Jacob Degrom way, and we know that's not his way. We know there was people in the wings trying to, for him not to say things, and we all know who it was. Not going to mention who it was. But, I mean, what are you going to do? Jacob Degrom was a great player for the New York Mets. 3-time Cy Young Award winner. Excellent pitcher. His time is now gone in New York. See ya. And that's the angle. If you guys love our live streams, you guys love our videos, please check it out by going onto our website at MetsXMFanZone.com. We give you all the inside scoops and coverage of your New York Mets, and also live streams you guys can see for spring training and throughout the season. Don't forget to check it out by going to MetsXMFanZone.com. You could also listen to our shows from Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursday at the 12 o'clock hour and also at the 6 p.m. hour. You can go to all of our major platforms by going to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. You could also check out our website at MetsXMFanZone.com for your latest everything Mets. You can listen to our uploads on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and also don't forget we are now finally on Odyssey. All links are in the show details, but always how I end the show with you guys. Be safe, be well, and let's go Mets.